All right, I'm going to be making some, I don't know what you want to call them, devices to help control the cold start volume. I have changed out the exhaust. I'm running the AWE. It's the touring, so it still does have like resonators, mufflers to kill the sound. Compared to stock, the AWE touring starts up at about 117 decibels. That's with the window, or the garage door open. But I've been doing a lot of cars and coffee events, and they're early in the morning, so to try to be a kind neighbor. And also my daughter's room is right above the garage here, and I don't want to wake her up because I've been getting up pretty early. So I'm going to be doing a cold start. Actually, the car's been driven in the last couple hours, so I don't think it's going to be a true cold start, but it'll be close enough that you get the idea. And we'll get a baseline on the decibel meter, which I have here. So you can see if I'm not talking, it's about 42 decibels. And I'm going to go ahead and start the car, and we'll get a baseline reading, again with the garage door closed on purpose. And then we'll be, I've got a couple different ways that we're going to try to kill the sound. Okay, so I'm just going to use the remote, do a cold start. I'll stop talking so we can let the decibel meter get to its lowest level. Okay, so I was probably, less than 2 feet away, and off to the side. I realize that's pretty close, but I think you get the idea. And we're going to keep that mic in the same location when we do the different experiments to keep the sound down. When it was down around 85 decibels, it's very mellow. That would not affect neighbors or my daughter's room at all. Okay, so there's going to be two parts to this. First one, these are just regular plastic totes like you get at Walmart. Happen to have these sitting around. Of course, they have a lid, and what we're going to do is we're going to put some kind of an insulation in here, and then in the lid, I'll be standing it up like so. And let's say the exhaust were here and here. I'd be cutting a hole, and the exhaust would be going into and being absorbed by the insulation. There will be a gap, of course. I'm not going to have the tote touching the exhaust, but the idea is to direct the exhaust into something that will capture and muffle it. And then part two is I got from Amazon a bag of it's like 5 of these pool noodles. And the pool noodles, you got to make sure you get the ones with the hole in it. You just cut them to about 10-inch length, and then you stuff them into the tips. I know it sounds really cheesy, and I've read a lot of comments on people that have done this saying, I think I'd rather move than have to deal with neighbors. My neighbors aren't complaining, just to be clear. I'm just trying to prevent it. Okay, so for insulation, I have two things. I went to Home Depot and I picked up some of this spray insulation. I don't know if it's any good. And then from Amazon, I got this egg crate stuff. There's not a whole lot here, but I'm hoping to be able to place it, throughout here along with that foam. So we'll be doing that, and then we'll test it. Okay, so I've got the pool noodle. This is about a 2.5-inch diameter on the outside, and I think it's a 1-inch diameter hole. And the whole idea of it is just blocks off the orifice. You're only doing this for about the first minute, so it's not going to hurt anything. I was a little worried about the temperature, but after that cold start, I checked the temperature of the tips. It's not bad. Now the AWE, It's supposed to be 4.5-inch diameter, but that's the outside. The inside, let's see if I can get a shot here. It gets a lot smaller. So the idea here is we just, stuff this in here like that. Now, of course, there's a little bit of slack here, so I'm going to be wrapping a microfiber towel, and I've got some of that aluminum type tape, just because I'm going to leave them in there for about a minute. And I left them long so that I could pull them out. Anyway, that's going to be the first step. Okay, again, we're here at the pool noodle. You can see I have 4 cut to 10-inch lengths. Cost on the pool noodles, again, it came through Amazon. It was in that little white bag here, and it was probably 17-18 bucks, including shipping. Really cheap. And then these are the famous Grant microfiber towels from Harbor Freight. You can get these for free on a coupon if you whatever, with a purchase, $5 or more, whatever it is. So anyway, again, I'll be wrapping the microfiber towel around here so that I'll actually be able to stuff it in there to where the exhaust won't blow it out. So that'll be doing next. Oh, and then here's that aluminum tape. They use it on duct. I don't know that it's needed. I could probably just use regular duct tape. In fact, I might do that just because I'm worried about scratching it. My theory on that was that it would take the temperature better than, I was worried about the foam melting. But from what I've seen online, it's not an issue. Okay, so I have the first one wrapped, and I folded a couple times, get the towel kind of thick, and I did decide to use the duct tape so I didn't have to worry about the aluminum tape scratching the inside of the tips. And I wrapped it tight enough to where if I'm trying to push the whatever you call it, the towel up or down, it doesn't go, but it's not crushing the hole. That's it. And I mean, it's easy to remove, and you can see the towel doesn't slip in there. So the test will be whether they fly out or not. Okay, so I have the 4th one made. You can see here I've got these 2 in over here, this one in here, and that one there. So now I'm going to close the garage and get the decibel meter up, and we'll see what difference, if any, this made, and whether this is a total waste of time or not, and also whether they blow out. Okay, so I couldn't tell looking through the camera what the decibel meter went to, but I think it was 101, and it was kind of a success and failure. The 3 of them came out, which is just telling me that, I need another towel wrapped around it, so I'm going to do that now. It was definitely muffled, like much better. So let me do that, and we'll do this again. Okay, so attempt 2, you can see here 2 different towels, one wrapped right over the other, and yeah, they're a thin microfiber towel, so it just depends on the thickness and also the diameter, inside diameter of your exhaust. Now it's much tighter. I don't think that's going anywhere. So again, we're going to try it out, and it also cleans the exhaust tips, so that's an added bonus. Okay, this is going to be test 2. See if I can get this to focus a little bit here. So all I did again is I just increased the diameter by putting another microfiber towel on it and stuffed them in there much tighter this time. So what I can tell you is that the stock exhaust, the cold start was 106 decibels. With the AWE it went up to 117, so we're going to check that out. Also, I did just start it, so it's not going to be a true cold start, but I can also tell you this: there was only about 2 decibels difference between the cold start and when you're firing up when it's warmed up. that's amazing. That's again, I don't remember what it was. It seemed like it was low 90s, and on the stock exhaust it was 106. Stock exhaust was really loud on cold start, in my opinion. So getting it down to this level is fine. With the garage door closed, I could start this up. It's not your neighbors are not even going to hear it. I don't know if my daughter will, so I'm going to go with the second part of this, which is the tubes. And again, we're only leaving these in for 30 to 60 seconds. And so far the tips haven't gotten warm at all to the touch, so I don't think it's going to hurt the foam at all. Obviously you got to remember to remove them. And of course, just disclaimer, we're not driving with these in, just for a cold start. So I was all excited after the success of those pool noodles. This foam, you know, I don't know what I was thinking, but it just doesn't stick. It just expands. I guess it's for like cracks and holes. It's not going to stick to the sides. Looks like it is, but it's not. It's just falling off. So I think what I'm going to do instead is I've got some cheap Harbor Freight moving blankets. I'm just going to stuff those in here, take up the majority of the space, and put a couple of those acoustic panels in there. I'm not sure which plan we're on, if we're on C at this point or D, but anyway, the foam wasn't a success, so I got another bin here, and this is again just a cheapo moving blanket. I'm not going to fold it neatly. I'm just trying to take up airspace to prevent the plastic from vibrating. So I'm going to stuff that in there and put some of those acoustic panels. Oops, and that'll be it. And then we'll do another test. So here's the moving blankets. I don't know what size the totes are. Moving blankets weren't that big. Again, they're just cheapos from Harbor Freight. And the next thing, I'm just going to stuff these acoustic panels in here. I am not a sound guy. I don't know if I'm actually doing anything to help, but we're gonna, the pool noodles worked, so we're going off that success. So next I'm gonna put the lid on, and then I'll be cutting a hole in the lid, but before I cut it, I've got to establish the height, the height, the length, the width of the hole. Okay, so again, just to give you an idea of what I'm trying to do, because I don't think I'm articulating it very well. So here you can see our noodles are in there. And I have the lid on. I've drawn a line around it. We're going to be cutting this area out here. And I'm not planning to have the noodles go into the tub. The tub will be just where it is. It's just, you know, directing the sound in and give it something to absorb. So be cutting that out and then we'll try it out. Okay, furniture blankets, whatever you call them, sound deadening tiles installed. Got the holes cut out, got the tubes directing it into it. And we're going to do another start. It's only been probably 10 minutes or so, so we're not going to have a true cold start. But again, the decibels won't be off by that much. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm standing right next to the exhaust and it is amazing. I think we were at like 89 with the pool noodles, if I'm not mistaken. And I think I saw it go to 75 initially, and then it went to 87. I'll tell you right now, 87 is nothing, but I think it was actually in the 70s. I mean, I'm using an inside voice right now. God, I can't talk. I hate myself. And I mean, yeah, I could have carried on a conversation with somebody. My daughter will definitely not hear that above us, and you will not hear that from outside. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna start it with the door open just to see what it reads. Okay, so I put the decibel meter, you know, less than a couple feet away, and pretty confident that we're gonna be really low. It's weird, the spike I think went up to like 100 and it actually moved to the bin back. You can see that one is a little loose, it's vibrating in there. I think that's what it was, it just came out of the tip and that's why it spiked. In fact, you know what, let's just try it again. That way you don't think I'm fibbing. Yeah, it was just loose. exhaust tips are not warm, no temperature at all. Yeah, so I went to 97, but again, I'm right next to the exhaust tip. I can assure you, it is not loud. Like when I do the cold starts on these things, I'm usually at my door here, and I'm covering my ears when I'm doing that. And there I was like right next to it, nothing. It's fine. So as ridiculous as it is, that's what I'm gonna do for loud cold starts. Okay, one more test. Again, this is only for cold start, so that's why I didn't think of pulling the noodles out, so you could see the difference in the decibels. And I realized that that might be a question that people will have. So go ahead and start it, and then we'll go look at the decibel meter before, and then I'll pull the noodles out with it running, and we'll see the difference. I don't think you're gonna see too much of a difference because it's warm now, so it'll be a low speed idle and not very loud. So that's with the noodles. Very quiet. Much quieter than stock. So as you can see, for the cost of a pull noodle and one, by the way, one pull noodle did all four exhaust at, oops, there goes the door, at 10 inches in length. So you only need one. Again, it was a 2.5 inch diameter, and it had the hole in the middle. You got to make sure you get the one with the hole. Don't get the solid one. And some free Harbor Freight, what do you call them, microfiber towels. You too can have good relations with your neighbors and not wake up your family.